Welcome everyone. We have another, like we have cross keys this time. We have the tracking by, I like the cats better. I want the cats back for the tracking. But nope, we got the bears tracking. We got a fire rod in Sanctuary. We have Gammachuu versus Dazedcloud. My name is Tracy M. I will be talking you through this. Please participate in chat. I am going to be missing things. One person, two streams. I can't rely on the bears to inform me of things I mess up, so. Go straight over to Houlihan. Looks like Sanctuary was vanilla, so that's kind of nice. It's a magic bat. We're not going to be able to get that right now. Almost in two of those jumps were synced. Let's get ourselves some money. So my understanding of this is if Gammachuu wins this one, that would clinch it for him and, make sure I have this right, him and T-Stew. If Dazedcloud wins it, we have potential chaos, depending on what Gammachuu versus Sailor Net does. That could put us in a three-way 2-1 tie. And we'll worry about that if it comes. I'm not going to start worrying about times for that. Gammachuu getting both bombs on the 50-50. That doesn't ever happen to me. God damn. And a full magic. Like, oh no, the full magic's on Dave's side. Dazedcloud doing a check I like to do early. Get that like Hylia Island check. Just gets a shop. Could have, let's see, with one bomb, I guess he doesn't want to buy bombs. He could have bought bombs with his Houlihan money. Gamma checking the race game item. I did not see what that was. And unlike regular entrances, we can't just go get it, so we'll see if he gets it later. Nice free bombs for Gamma there. Push 14. Magno, that's terrible. Just a single rupee triple. Now let's see what entrance this is. It's the uncle entrance. This is such a waste to be the uncle entrance. Because you don't need anything to be able to check this. I like my uncle entrance being at Lumberjack. The key to Eastern's important. And a small key to Skull Woods. Nice to have, not necessarily needed. $50 rupees there for days, sitting out there in the Lost Woods. I'm gonna guess he'll hit Kakariko from the north. Gamma finding a connector. He doesn't want to do a connector yet. I like to note those connectors, and then hopefully there's only one, and I just take it after I've done all this other exploration. Might be what Gamma's thinking, or he might, there might be multiple connectors. Then you have to make a decision. See what this drop down is. Hammerlock drop down is Lumberjack, and there is a bottle there, so probably not gonna need to rush that with the hammer. Missed the Castle Tower one. That's always an important one too. We find Paradox Cave on Gammachoo's side. Has a decent amount of bombs, so he can do this. Or he can just buy the bombs here. I often forget about this location. We see Blind's Hut here, and Dave's getting a hook shot, which is really, really nice early. And a hammer for Gamma. So a couple really nice items for our players. Not in awful spots, I don't think, so I expect they'll each get them. Days will have a little bit easier time with this room. Hammering Moldorms, if you've ever tried to hammer Moldorms, sucks. It is like the worst enemy to kill with a hammer, I think. Yeah, Gamma's gonna, yeah. No magic for that fire rod, can't use that. Gets a cane of Burna, gets 50 rupees, gets a compass. Compass to Swamp Palace is actually, I kind of like some compasses. Swamp Palace compass, really not that useful. It's a very linear dungeon outside of left side. It's very easy to know whether you've done left side or not. Give me an Ice Palace compass every time. That dungeon is horrible to keep track of how many items you've picked up. Meanwhile, Dazedcloud finds a pod with no keys, so you're not gonna be able to do very much. He could Mimic Clip to the Bowlock side, or he might just do this one check and leave. That is a small key to ice. Another nice to have small key, especially if you end up being able to getting a cane of Samaria. Having that small key, if you don't have the hammer and the gloves, which we don't have. I expect he'll get that hammer, but might be a while before he gets the gloves. And Gamma taking a death. Looks like he was going to try and no, he's got a fairy. Looks like he was going to try and hammer the ball and chain guards, which is a bit of a pain. And we are going to see a Mimic Clip from Dazed. Just 20 rupees. We have no small keys to Castle Tower, so that's all we're going to be able to do. And there's nothing to kill him. And he's got, I guess, Gamma probably doesn't want to waste his bombs right now. So just going to walk out. And yeah, Dazed doing this bufferless. Was doing it bufferless. Didn't quite have it, getting closer. You see the Smiths over in Kakariko, which is one of the places they like to hang out. Smiths always have to be in the light world somewhere. And Ganon at Kakariko Well. So no hard required GT climb necessarily. At least not for Ganon. No hard required Castle Tower climb for Ganon. Can't do Spike Cave yet. No glove. And, well, no safety items to get through the spikes. Well, there's our mountain start point. That's a good spot for the mountain start point, considering where our other starts are. Will become kind of irrelevant if Flute shows up. But for now, that's a good one. We see a connector here, and it looks like Gammachuu's going to go ahead and take this one. It's a quick connector. Okay, not gonna take it, just wants to blow up the wall. Oh, and it looks like there was a small key on the right side there to pod. That's really interesting. So Daze says, you know what, let's go ahead and grab these other 2 items he can get. The small key would put these in logic, except that we don't have a bow to put them in logic, so... kind of doesn't actually put them in logic. And Dave's just going to take the death, get out of here. Of note, our runners have not gotten any hearts yet. Okay, let's see what's over at Eastern. Turtle Rock East. No big key to do anything with this. Or no big key to do the big chest. With Fire Rod, this isn't bad. Okay, this is still bad, but it's doable. With only one small key to Turtle Rock, he's gonna want to get this key. Turtle Rock is weird because there's a lot of ways to save keys in Turtle Rock, assuming you have multiple access to multiple different entrances. So yeah, really want to grab that small key though, because you're gonna need at least one to finish the dungeon. Depending on where your entries are, you might need more. A lamp locked by four Turtle Rock Smalls is pretty amazing. Gammachuu now has the hookshot. And now we get to do chain chomps. Dazed cannot take a hit here. Maybe uses fire rod. I'm gonna use the hook shot. Gotta be careful. Might have used fire rod shots. Nice job with that bomb. Oh, and then just doesn't quite avoid the chain chomp there. We'll see if he goes back in for it. Oh, and I don't know what tier of tree pull that was that Gamma just did, but 8 bombs is a good pull. I was busy watching Dazed in Turtle Rock. I once again did not see what was at Lumberjack, which is one of the more relevant, the 2 relevant locations being that, and of course behind GT. Now GT, this being regular cross keys, we can't spy that out. But we can spy out the Castle Tower location. Useless fairy. Thank you, more guy. So we don't care about killing Aga 1. So we get a really bizarre seed where we need it for Dark World Axe. I don't think I've ever had a hard required Aga 1 Dark World Axis. There are some weird things that can happen in Inverted with getting to the top of the castle, but we're regular cross keys today. Oh, we got a connector over to Death Mountain on Gamma's side. And we find Spiral Cave. And no one ever wants to do Spiral Cave. It is it and Super Bunny are the 2 worst. But I'm going to put Spiral Cave worse than Super Bunny for the simple fact that you could happen upon Super Bunny from the backside. In which case, at least you can get the items without going through. Whereas that's never an option with Spiral Cave. To get the item, you actually have to do it. And we get an Ice Rod over on Dazedcloud's side. Yeah, speaking of Super Bunny, we get the bad side. So, Gammachuu, you have the 2 bad connectors over here. Choosing not to take either one of them. With 3 hearts, going to walk over to the west side of the mountain. Now, Gammachuu does not have that lamp. So the old man rescue is behind 4 TR small keys, which is pretty crazy when you think about it. He doesn't have a sword, so he'll have to use a hook shot or something else to see by. Hook shot's not terrible for that. Looks like he's going to use some bombs as well. That's not a terrible way to do it either. And I think this is Day's first entrance into Kakariko. So, among other things, he'll get a hammer. Nicely done by Gammachuu, gets the old man rescue. Only gets 3 bombs for his trouble. But that'll give him a start point in Kakariko, and we don't know where the other start point's going to be yet, but ideally something nice and far away from the other 3, I should say. And Gammachuu finds Hyrule Castle and decides to go for it. He's got a hammer, he's got a hook shot for stunning enemies, he's got a fire rod, so he's got lots of choices for how to go through. He's even got a Cane of Burna. I wouldn't expect to see him use that. Probably going to use the hammer, but he's got choices. And we saw Gammachuu check this hook shot cave earlier. And the only prize looks to be that small key to Desert Palace, which may or may not lead to anything. It does mean that we get 2 extra checks in the main part of desert. Okay, we find that's that same connector Gamma decided not to go through. We'll see if Dazedcloud decides to go back to that one at some point. And of course, most of this Hyrule Castle stuff that Gammachuu is doing, not in logic until we find the Hyrule Castle small key. But we know where, with the Sanctuary entrance being where it is, you're pretty safe in doing this. Okay, Dazedcloud finds Paradox Cave. This will be easier for him with the hook shot and the to get through the Moldorms up top. We'll see. I don't think I'm not sure if Gamma checked any of the connectors. We'll see if Dazedcloud chooses to. And Gammachuu not gonna do Dark Cross right now. I could do it with torches, not in logic without the lamp. He doesn't know the lamp's available. Although the lamp's still not in logic either. Dave says, I don't need my hook shot. I'm just use bombs, but... did need to use something not the hook shot to activate the switch, so bombs are the rods he has, but... hook shot really nice for killing Moldorms. Okay, just bomb jumps out. And the useless Ice Rod Cave for Gamma. We see a small key sitting on Spectacle Rock. And always nice to find Mimic Cave when you already have the hammer. Dazedcloud just gonna use Fire Rod shots in this room. In fact, just gonna use that Fire Rod for everything right now. I mean, these are very dangerous enemies. It looks like he's also just gonna walk out. Rather than waste a bomb to Death Warp. Okay, Gammachuu has checked most of what he can. See if he goes for the Dark Cross item or if he decides to just look for connectors. With he's only got 4 hearts, 5 max, and no sword, so I don't blame him for not wanting to actually do the Dark Cross item. And I love this bunny sprite. So I'll be able to do some of these a little bit of bunny walking if he doesn't die. Both the Pig Guard and the Ropa will do 2 hearts of damage with no mail. So he does not want to get hit right now. Looks like it chooses not to do much more exploring. He could have taken the fairy heal and done a little more, but there's not too many places you can go to in that situation. And without a mirror, the odds, it is possible to find your Moon Pearl in the Dark World in one of the caves that is just got the item sitting on the floor. But from my experience, that's pretty rare. And if you at least have a mirror, there's some mirror checks you can do to get things. And he didn't have that either. Okay, Dazedcloud makes his way over to Death Mountain. Oh, hey, that's a Moon Pearl. Looks like the well was at Hyrule Castle. I don't believe Dazedcloud has been there. He doesn't have a Moon Pearl marked. Small key to Castle Tower opens up 1 item. 2 small keys to Castle Tower. And hopefully we'll get Dazed back. I see Duncan in chat, so I guess I don't need to ping him. I'll assume he's working on it. We could switch game audio. Oh, there we go. And Dave's gonna have to be very careful. Anything hitting him right now will kill him. And the boulder got him. Gammachuu is gonna go for Super Bunny now. So this is 2 items and a connector. We get an ether. We get 20 rupees. Ether probably not useful. Obviously, we haven't seen either medallion requirement, and of course, in cross keys, there's a really good chance that there is no medallion requirement whatsoever. And we get the... Well, at least he'll know that he wasn't going to be able to check Super Bunny from the back ever, because you can't get into that entrance other than through a connector. Unfortunately, it also means that he's stuck here in the desert area, so it looks like he's going to take advantage of that and check the entrances over here. Meanwhile, Day's going to do the west part of the mountain, not going to take the connectors. Day's still on 3 hearts. And also finds Hyrule Castle. Looks like he'll go for it. Also, shoutouts to both runners just going straight to the back from the right side. I have this bad habit of forgetting that this is a somewhat symmetrical castle. Not completely so, but at least in terms of getting to the back, you can just walk straight down. You don't have to go around the other way. Like Gammachuu going to go for some of these Light World South entrances. I'm surprised he doesn't go for a little more Dark World since he did find that Moon Pearl, but could. Looks like we're gonna... Did he get a mush? No. He just wants to go check the potion shop. This is often the first thing runners check. They'll come here from Link's house, the same way Gamma just did, and we'll do the Houlihan play. But both these runners started at Sanctuary, and Sanctuary is vanilla, so they were able to just do it that way. Walk from there. Gamma in Turtle Rock will probably use that Fire Rod, get the small key, get his 4 Turtle Rock small key locked lamp. I'll see if Daze goes. Daze probably goes for the Dark Cross item because he does have the lamp already. There you go. There's that lamp locked behind 4. Count them, 4 TR small keys. All that really means is the TR small keys are going to show up. Again, we don't really need that many TR small keys since, like right here, if you go this direction, you're not going to open that door. The door will stay locked. And that magic boomerang, the red boomerang, is really nice for this room. And let's see. Gamma doing the chain chomp dance. Gets his Ganon's Tower small key, and it's just gonna save and quit. And small key to Swamp Palace in Dark Cross, so if Swamp's a crystal, Gammachuu is gonna need to get that at some point. If Swamp's a pendant, that very well could put Daze on a wild goose chase into Swamp Palace for things he doesn't need. And we're finally going to see this connector that was in Kakariko. Okay, it takes us to Dark Death Mountain on the west side. So really not a lot we can do here. Gammachuu can check this one entrance. And it's a connector. Okay, so we can't just mark all this stuff off because no mirror. Oh, hi, Laser Bridge. Wow, that's just disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. What a terrible place for Laser Bridge. We get a mirror out of it. That's really good. You will be able to check the Light World entrances at the same time, but wow. Nice job on those laser skips. Can use the mirror to get out. What a dumb chain. What a horribly dumb chain. And why, Gamma, did we already see the Spiral Cave entrance? I mean, if I miss something, it's gonna happen. I've already missed a ton. Maybe you, okay, he's already been on East Death Mountain over here, so I guess Spiral Cave is over here. Maybe he's gonna hit Spiral Cave now. Yeah, I was just thinking it didn't matter which order you did it in, just because you're probably done with your rot at this point anyway. But if he wants to hit Spiral Cave, the actual Spiral Cave, not the Spiral Cave entrance, he could do that from here. This, I think, the only thing left on the east part of Death Mountain that he hasn't done yet. Yeah, chat also pointing out that if Daze doesn't get his Moon Pearl before he finds this, he can Bunny Revive for I mean, if there's ever a place to eat that you can easily Bunny Revive, it's Laser Bridge. You know? Okay, let's see what this Spiral Cave has for us. Okay, it's powder. Nice to be determined item. Certainly a nice luxury item. Actually, my favorite luxury item. And we can get 2 more entrances out. This chain of entrances. I mean, I guess this is not part of that same chain. No, continue. No, there's another entrance you can check. There's one more. There you go. I've been known for that. What? We haven't. Wait, you didn't check the entrance. Did we come out of that entrance? We must have come out of that entrance when we came here the first time. Forgive me for not remembering every little thing and seeing every little thing. We do have Dazed also going to do Super Bunny. Going to be fairly disappointed with what he finds out of this. Yeah, we have a very biased T-Stew in chat here. As if Gamma wins, we will have Gamma and T-Stew both advancing. And as I said earlier, if Dazedcloud wins, then things get interesting, and everything depends on what happens when Gammachuu plays Sailor Net. And Dazedcloud getting the bad news that he gets spit out over in the desert area. And Gammachuu does get his small key to Swamp Palace. So we're even there. So they'll likely either both waste time in Swamp or both need it for a crystal. I don't think we've seen... I think we saw maybe the main entrance, but we haven't seen the west entrance, and that's what we're going to see right now. Oh, Village Outcast. We could do things here. We'll see if he goes north or south. And we see the bomb vendor with Thieves Town and Eastern being our red crystals. Back of Desert. Not of any use right now. No big key to get to the back, or to get to the boss, I should say. And Gamma's already got the small key, so no reason to steal the key. And looks like he must have seen a P when he walked in, because he's got that now marked as a pendant. So really no reason to do. Really nothing you can do there. No reason to do it even if you could. And we see the chicken hut. We get a half magic. Half magic is a nice item. Certainly a nice luxury item. Definitely not required, but you don't turn it down. No, I don't think we've seen these entrances over here on the Eastern Dark World part. A lot of runners like to wait until they have a glove to be able to pick up the rock and get the third entrance. And all of a sudden, dazed with the container heart lead. Okay, nothing interesting on Desert Torch. We do get another connector. We got a small key that we can't pick up. So Dazedcloud, we're gonna take this one-way connector. We'll see where it takes him. Meanwhile, Gammachuu is in the main part of desert. Oh, and Daze without the mirror yet. Can't do that all-important mirror right there on Bumper Ledge. It's one of those nasty places. You know, Bumper Ledge and TR Bridge are just the annoying ones. We see Bumper Cave over here. You can go through that, and you can be required to go through that with the hook shot. But there's so many other things to check over here that it looks like Dazedcloud just doesn't want to do that yet, and I don't blame him. It'll still be there, and especially since there's a good chance he'll have to come back with the mirror to do that other cave check anyway. We're going to see him go into Skullwoods, so this is a guaranteed bunch of items. We'll see if we have the good Skullwoods layout or the bad Skullwoods layout. Okay, so we have a good Skullwoods layout because we're already in the single segment, which means when he does the other checks, he can go ahead and come back. No, we don't have to mess with drop downs. And Daze still without that Moon Pearl. I'm a little surprised he hasn't gone to check the drop down over by Hyrule Castle. That's where the Moon Pearl is, in the well. Because he's got to know the well is one of his missing locations. That's 5 items. As instead, we did a bunny revive. We're gonna check these items. Small key to Misery Mire, pretty useless item. 3 small keys puts the left side in logic. Otherwise, you don't need a single small key in Misery Mire to do anything else. And I really only need one to get over to that left side. Now, the pinball room is still always a small key in entrance, thankfully, because you could fall down here looking for your way to the other side and just get stuck. Gammachuu is going to grab that shovel, because why shouldn't the shovel lead to something? Well, the shovel's going to lead to something dumb. It always does. 100 rupees. And it looks like we're going to get a Harapot. It looked like the new setup. It's not the pixel I use, but I know there are several pixels you can do that on. And we got our first sword finally. Of course, just like our out-of-logic lamp, we have an out-of-logic sword, because we need the, theoretically, should have the Hera Big Key to be able to do that. Okay, Daze finds his way to TR Bridge, which means he should get his mirror, because he's going to do Laser Bridge here. Meanwhile, Gammachuu on Moldorm. Let's see if this is a pendant or a crystal. It's bombs, and it's a crystal. And Daze can choose to use that Cane of Burna if he wants to. It gets his mirror, that's really important. Hero on Graveyard List. What a horrible place for a dungeon that you can't full clear. Okay, Daze finds the fairy upgrade. Or where you can buy bomb upgrades and air upgrades. Isn't going to do anything with it. Gonna check the Mimic Cave entrance, sees it's nothing. Gamma, meanwhile, is doing the magic bat with that powder. And it's just a piece of heart. We'll see if Dazedcloud also follows the Spiral Cave connector here. So I think the only drop down we didn't see is the Thieves' Hut, which means that there's one extra item behind a GT climb. We haven't found GT. We have none of the items we need to climb it. We don't have a big key. So not really something we're thinking about right now, which is interesting to note. Okay, Daze gets his powder. See, you're gonna thinking about it. You're gonna take the connector. Gamma, make a decision. Okay, not gonna take it right now. I did not see where that death happened, but it wasn't in a good spot. Meanwhile, Gammachuu gonna go ahead and get the stuff out of Skullwoods. Not a whole lot of interest here, though. That all-important Misery Mire small key. I guess the first small key does make routing a little better. You can do the standard Misery Mire Key Sanity route, which lets you start on the right side. It's still not really an interesting item. Ooh, Hype Cave. Don't believe we saw this on Gamma's side. I don't think he ever came back up to this area with the mirror. So far we got a map and a map. A useless map for the second one. Lots of money. And more money. So that was a pretty bad Hype Cave. I mean, the maps might come in... Well, one of the maps might come in useful. I didn't see what the first one was. Second one being the Hyrule Castle, just by definition can't be useful. It's the Hyrule Castle and GT maps don't give us any interesting information whatsoever. Like a heart piece sitting on floating island, so we don't care about that. There is a connector out there that's going to get us to that spot. We don't really care about it. Unless it's our only way to East Dark Death Mountain. Okay. Daze with that hook shot. Gamma finds Ice Palace. Ice Palace with... We got a hook shot, we have a hammer, we don't have a glove. Easy to forget that you need a glove to finish Ice Palace, because in entrance you can get to Ice Palace without having mitts, but in a regular mode can't get there, can't even get in without the mitts. So it looks like Gammachuu, did he skip a small key or did he just never get one for, you know, he never got the Ice Palace small. Gets a bow and leaves immediately. I like that choice. Fortunately, it looks like Daze, he was in this area and didn't do the rest of these checks. Let's see, we're gonna get a pet check. Maximum health increase, I believe that's a heart container, so yeah, we're not pulling ped. Well, Gamma's not pulling ped. I mean, I don't expect Dazed will either, but... And Dazed still bunny walking. Oh, that's where the back of the old man is. That's our Dark World... Sorry, our mountain start spot. That's a good mountain start location. I don't think either one has checked it yet. Looks like Daze will finally go get his Moon Pearl. Gonna check this last drop down. Gonna find the well. Gonna probably feel bad that he got this Moon Pearl as late as he did. It's like, this was available, Sphere 1. Like, you could have just gone there in the very beginning of the game. Most wonders don't. Like, I don't feel like this is necessarily a bad choice to skip this at the beginning, but getting to it pretty darn late. Okay, Gammachoo's gonna get the second item out of Castle Tower. Not gonna finish it. There's no reason to. Since the drop down over there is just the useless fairy. We wouldn't have boots to do it anyway. Daze now has the small keys to do that as well whenever he wants. And Gamma just getting an extra container heart for his trouble and immediately mirrors out. Daze, on the other hand, knowing now that this is the start spot and can just go there. He's gonna do some Dark World stuff. Looks like he's gonna go east. With that hammer, he can get to all of East Dark World. Except, you can't get to Catfish. Can't get to the Flipper stuff. We get a mini Moldorm cave. Let's see if this 5-item cave can give us better stuff. Small key to Hyrule Castle. That's not useful. Okay, now we get to finally find out what's over here on Race Game. Obviously, it's something that Gamma wants because he's going for it. It's a big key. What big key are we gonna find? Desert big key. That's a big key that we would have been happy to never see and have it rot somewhere in the bottom of the ocean. Desert being a pendant. Ah. And we actually could have gotten to that by a connector, because that is the part of Paradox Cave. I think that's everything from Paradox Cave in terms of entrances and exits. Yeah, we're gonna get big game over here. Okay, we're gonna probably at least pick up, you know, a couple of 20s. We haven't seen Zora yet. Oh, hi, Glove. Okay, so now we have proper Dark World access on Gamma's side with that glove. And I would expect that Dazedcloud should get that pretty soon as well. And Dazedcloud does not yet have a sword, though. The sword that Gamma has is in the chest behind near the big chest in Tower of Para. And Tower of Hera is at Graveyard Ledge. And of course, not in Logic because we don't have the big key. Some bombs at Stumpy, which Ace gets and Gamma now gets as well. Gamma with that shovel is going to go ahead and check that right now. There's not going to be a more convenient time. Just a piece of heart. Okay, Dave's probably going to continue going west for a little bit. Gamma looks like he's headed over towards Bombo's tablet. Oh yeah, and he's got this spot without that he wasn't able to check because he didn't have a glove. And it's the front of Turtle Rock. So is he just gonna grab the magic? Well, if you don't have Kane Samaria, so we can't do anything there. It's a dumb spot for to have to come back to get 3 items later. Dave's gonna go ahead and get this big key. And probably be disappointed by what big key it is. Actually, he doesn't yet know the desert's a pendant, according to his tracker. So maybe a little less disappointed than he otherwise would be. Gonna find this other part of Paradox Cave. Not gonna go through it. I'm not sure if we saw where the bottom entrance goes. The one that technically you can't walk into through. And again, I'm going to do some combining of locations. Also going to get the news about the red crystals. Get Eastern and Thieves Town. Daze gets his glove. He's going to go ahead and save and quit. Oh, Bombo's tablet had flippers. I missed that note, so that is relevant. Flippers, as usual, only gonna be hard required if we have to go into Swamp Palace. Still don't know whether that's a pendant or a crystal. See what Gamma decides to do now. He could fake flipper his way over to the dark shopping mall area. If he does that, then he can check all 6 entrances at the same time. That's a kind of a nasty fake flipper. He's gonna find out that he's got this really nice start spot from the old man. He's gonna pick up this drop down. I forget what it was. Okay, it was just a bottle. Little surprised he went that far out of the way for just a bottle. It does have a fairy in it. He does have the mirror, so having a fairy is not gonna mess up his death warping. It looks like he wants to find out what this last exit of Paradox Cave gets him. Ah, we have not seen this. East Dark Death Mountain. And we find Eastern Palace, but we don't have a big key. No, we do have the big key, we don't have the bow. Decides not to do Eastern Palace right now. It is 5 checks you can do. Okay, definitely decide not to do that Eastern check right now. And we find Misery Mire. Also doesn't want to do Misery Mire. We'll see if he goes back into Mire after seeing what this is. Okay, we've seen the end of this connector. I forget who took it. There is an item here. I want to say it's some sort of key. It is a small key. It is a small key to Skull Woods. Okay, well. Not a particularly useful small key. Meanwhile, Gamma is going to combine his East Dark World checks. I don't think he's done any of the eastern area here. So he's going to be able to be a little bit more efficient and combine these. Meanwhile, Dazed is going to go ahead and go into Mire. Does not have a sword. Just kind of relevant right now. Gonna have to use fire rod shots and, you know, hook shot the popos, which will help a little bit. Gammachuu, meanwhile, finds Thieves Town. He'll be able to do the front 4, but you can't do the back. No big key. And Dazedcloud not going to be able to finish Meyer either. It turns out it's a pendant. We see the P in there, which means he probably is never going to want to finish it anyway. Not going to do the left side. Maybe he's going to do this first and come back. I believe we've only seen the one Meyer small, so it's not in logic, but... Meanwhile, Gammachuu finds silvers. And a bottle of blue. That was a really nice Thieves Town. Nothing we needed, but, you know, if you're gonna find unneeded stuff, a blue potion for safety and silver arrows, you know, certainly you're not gonna turn that down. Okay, Daze just wanted to do the main lobby chest before doing the left side. Does give blue mail, a nice safety. We find good Ice Rod Cave from Gammachuu, which wasn't so good because it just has 20 rupees. And Myers Shed. Pretty sure we saw this from Dazed. Yeah, the Ice Rod, we saw that already. And cutscene chest today has for us boots. Oh, there we go. There we go. May not be required, but certainly desired. Meanwhile, Gammachuu is going to go ahead and check. Well, first he'll do Saha's hut over here, and then he'll do Pod and Eastern at the same time. And we did find, yeah, we saw Pod over here on Day's side a while ago. Gammachuu also with no small keys, but it does have the bow. It's going to get a small key by going on the right side. And with the hammer, could decide to go ahead. Yeah, there's that Ice Palace small key. That's where why Daze had it, and Gammachuu did not. Compass to Hera. Not a very useful compass. We'll see if Gammachuu goes, takes that key and just opens up the front door, or if he tries to do some of the stuff in the back. Okay, Day's now out of Meyer, the boots being the main prize there. Is going to take this connector. I'm pretty sure we saw that where this goes already on Gamma's side. Oh, we saw this on Day's side. And he couldn't actually mirror here, and this time he can, and finds Desert Palace main. And you can do all this stuff. You can actually full clear this the first time through, which is pretty rare. Just a single rupee from the big chest. Okay, Gammachuu not gonna use that key. It looks like he might have already opened the front door. Not gonna use that key for anything else. Let's see what the actual pod entrance gives us. Absolutely nothing. I guess we already saw that book on Gamma's side because he's been using it. Not sure there's anything new Gammachuu can do from here in Turtle Rock. Since he's already done the checks that this would lead to. Now, if Dazedcloud goes to the right here. Oh, Swamp Palace. Okay. Can't do anything there yet because we don't have flippers and don't have the dam. And Dazedcloud can probably do these North Dark World checks. I mean, 2 of them are boots checks. They're not technically in the Dark World, but one of them is gonna. Yeah, actually none of them are technically in the Dark World, but we're gonna do them from the Dark World so we can keep that mirror portal, so we can do Graveyard Ledge, which needs to be done from the Dark World, of course. And without Myth, so does King's Tomb. So. Gammachuu wants to do this quick little current jump type fake flipper thing. I'm not entirely sure how this one works, but you don't have to get very far. I think he's just doing a splash delete. You don't have to actually get very far on this one. Try again. Meanwhile, King's Tomb over on Daze is just a bunch of rupees. Okay, there we go. Does get the splash delete. This way, Gammachuu can check all 6 entrances at the same time. He does have to be careful here, because it's not an automatic death anymore if you get hit while in fake flipper form. It can actually just be a real slow lock, essentially. Daze finds Hera, which is good for him, because he'll be able to get the sword. Ooh, we find the back of Skull Woods. And with a sword and a fire rod, there's really no reason for Gammachuu not to do this. He's gonna check this item first. Gets a compass. Gets a compass for Skull Woods. Because why not? Daze gets his first sword. Spider Sword Moth kind of sucks, but Gammachuu can supplement with both Fire Rod shots and Hammer shots, so won't be too bad. I personally am a big fan of doing Fire Rod Moth. When I was a kid, I used to think you had to kill Moth with the Fire Rod, because you get this Fire Rod in this dungeon, therefore it must be what you must use to kill the boss, right? Does a nice job with Hammer, though. Unfortunately, just 20 rupees and a pendant. Okay, so we now have full knowledge of pendants and crystals. The runners don't. The last pendant is Misery Mire. Actually, we don't have full knowledge. We don't know whether the green pendant is Mire or Desert, but it will be one of those. And we're going to see a current jump over from Daze to get over to the east side. Doesn't need to do this because he does have access. Actually, I'm kind of surprised. Because he could just save and quit to the mountain start point and go from the back. And that gets him in a pretty good position close to this. Although maybe what he might want to do, maybe he's going to go to the Dark Shopping Mall area where Gamma is right now. Because he can do that through the portal. Nope, he just wanted to cross. Okay. It's like he wants to get to... okay, gonna check this entrance. The Dark Potion Shop is sick kid. We do have bottles. Always nice when we happen upon sick kid with bottles, and he gets a master sword. So that'll be good for him in the sense that he'll be able to just pick up his flippers from the from Bombo's tablet when he gets there. Gammachuu gonna go ahead and splash delete flipper again. This time he wants to do the, I assume he'll do catfish and this entrance over here. Gamma gets his Master Sword. Daze gets a Skullwoods map, so might be able to avoid getting that pendant. We're gonna get our first Zora look. Both runners have the money for it. Wouldn't surprise me if Gammachuu also chooses to check this. Just a 5 rupee return. Nice 1% return on your investment. And Day's gonna run back, because I think he wants to splash delete into the entrance here. Which looks like it's just a shop. Technically is in logic because we know where the flippers are and either one of them can go get them anytime we want. Daze does not know that yet. Gammachuu about to get his 1% back. In regular cross keys, that's not so bad. Money's not usually that big an issue. In Retrons, which one of the modes that can happen here, that does matter. It does make a difference because we need money in Retrons. Lots and lots of money. Okay, we'll get our first look at back of Escape from Gammachuu now that he's got gloves. We'll get a small key on the pyramid. It's a small key at Turtle Rock, which at this point, we have a few of those. A third one's not really going to add much to what we can do there. We found all the entrances. Like Gammachuu wants to start back in the Dark World. Be interesting to see when he gets over to that connector that gets him up to Dark Death Mountain. I forget where it was. That's where Eastern is, and that's where Misery Mire is. Now, when Gammachuu gets up there, he's just going to be able to do Eastern, because he's already got a bow. In fact, he's got 2 bows. And then he probably goes into Misery Mire. And we'll see him get his boots there. Meanwhile, both runners seeking the same thing. Check the entrances at the top of Hyrule Castle that are only available via connector or via mirror from the pyramid. Trying to remember where that first bow was that Gamma has. The second one was in Thieves Town. We get a map check. So it's Meyer is our green pendant. And that should be full knowledge of pendants and crystals for Dazed. He marked his Meyer location as a crystal, so hopefully that's just, you know, sometimes, like, I don't think the auto tractor doesn't do pendants and crystals, so he has to do that by hand. And sometimes when you're trying to mark those things, you start to mark them, and then something happens that you need your other hand for. So you don't get it quite marked all the way. But yeah, that was definitely a pendant. We saw the P when he went in there. We saw the green pendant on his map check. So Dazed's gonna get his first bow here. And Shot will also get a blue bottle. So for him, that bow is basically required. I mean, obviously, we know there's another bow out there, and Gamma has it. I forget where it was. That bow doesn't really open in much for Days, except going to... He might head over to Eastern Palace. Let's see if this was that. No, this is Ice Rod Cave. Because he'll know where that connector is. So you might want to just, you know, beeline to Eastern Palace. It's 6 items. It's a crystal. You have to do it at some point. Gamma did find the dam. I missed that. Just arrows, though, as the item. Like, Dave's gonna check these last couple entrances that he didn't get earlier when he was over here. And Gamma's gonna go get his flipper, so he might be thinking about doing Swamp Palace. And I don't think we've seen the desert entrance. Unless you have a flute, you really want to end your route at this, because once you open this entrance, you can't get back out without a flute. So this is a good time for Gamma to check it. This will be the end of his route. And it's Pyramid Fairy, big heated pod, and some arrows. Save and quit. Let's see where he's headed. And do Spike Cave. Okay. Nice one-off in a spot where it really isn't that bad to just save and quit out of. You'll see in entrance, you'll see a lot of different strats to get out of Spike Cave. But I think he's just going to save and quit out of it this time. Right, it was Paradox Cave. And Gammachuu hasn't done that. I don't think he's found the upper entrance, just because he found it from the other direction. It was at the spot in south of, near the race game, the West Brothers hut. But he has not checked the other end of it. Headed back into the Lost Woods. So this looks like he's going to head over to Dark World. Meanwhile, Dazedcloud has a bow. Is going to full clear Eastern. This is fully in logic. We have the lamp. We have the bow. So we have everything we could possibly need in here. Meanwhile, Gammachuu headed back over to the Skull Woods area. Probably just to check the big key, because I think he's done everything else here. There are things here that Dazed hasn't done. No, he's just walking through just walking through to get over towards North Dark World. Yeah, I think this was Swamp Palace. And Gamma now has everything he needs for it. Yeah, and this is Swamp Palace. We know this is a crystal. I don't believe he knows it's a crystal. It's a big key to Misery Mire. Not really what you want to find. Although it might incentivize him to actually go into Misery Mire when he finds it, which would get him his boots, which would be good. Daze has had those boots for quite a bit at this point. We'll see if Gammachuu decides to do left side. This early, there's still a lot of things we're missing. Let's see what we are. Let's take a look at what we are missing. Let's see. So we have everything we need for Pod. Swamp, we have everything we need for Swamp. Thieves Town, we need a Thieves Big Key. We don't technically, and we need a Turtle Rock Big Key. Looks like we're just missing and Cane of Samaria. So 2 big keys and a cane are what we're missing. So we're not actually missing that much. Daze additionally needs to find those flippers over at Bombo's tablet. And hopefully we can get that fixed relatively quickly. As far as I can tell, both runners are still streaming. Hey, Will, thank you. I'm having a great evening. I'll just chat with chat for a second while Dunka fixes this. We see our lovely cones. Oh, wait, they both finished at the same time? We got a tie? What? Oh, no, not that. Obviously, that's just the screen we're going to be showing while we fix things up. How is everybody out there, everyone out there doing? Oh, looks like Gamma did do left side. Of course, we won't know what's there. Yeah, shout out to Dunka for putting all this together. Obviously, without him, we wouldn't have a ladder. We wouldn't have a ladder invitational. We wouldn't have races, so. I'm not sure who this is. I hear sound. I see a tracker. Okay, I don't see a big key or a cane. I don't see a Thieves Big. I don't see a Turtle Rock Big, and I don't see a Cane of Samaria. So it looks like left side was a bunch of junk of some sort or another. Now let's see if there was a sword. Okay, stick your sword out, Gammachuu, so we can see if you got a sword. Because it's Swamp. There's always a sword in Swamp. Of course, Gammachuu without the boots yet. Oh, there's a big key. Big key to Turtle Rock. Okay. That's one of the pieces of the puzzle. Interesting though, looks like he did left side. Yeah, with 5 items on his compass. He did left side before doing that check. I wonder if he just forgot about it. It's a good thing he went back for it, because that's a required item. If you forgot, then you're just never coming back. Never down chest, just giving us a couple of big pieces of heart. Oh yeah, well, Daze looks like he's changed his tracker to a... Oh, another big key! Ah, we don't want that big key. Turn it, give it back, give it back. Is it quicker to do left side swamp before compass checks? I have never heard that before. Okay. gets his blue pendant. I did not see what the item was. Yeah, but you're now in the Argus fight. Okay, takes less time to get to the key door in the lobby by going up after the pot key. Thanks Relkin, T-Stew, and Will. Okay, Gammachuu gets his crystal. So again, now just missing Thieves Town Big and Akana Samaria. Gammachuu would love to have those boots over from Misery Mire, but may not care as much if it means he can just never go there. Does need to get over to that area though, because Eastern is in that same general vicinity. Okay, where are we headed now? Okay, Daze still needs to check the Bombos tablet for his flippers. And Gammachuu is going to do Ice Palace. That's where he got his first bow from. That's right. He got his bow and noped right on out, which I liked a lot, and it turned out to be a pretty decent play. He's going to go ahead and do it now. Now this time he will be able to full clear it. And looks like Dazedcloud is headed that direction as well, so he's going to be able to do this. Unfortunately, no Akana Samaria means no Icebreaker, and we're not in Go mode because we don't have a Akana Samaria, and we also don't have a Thieves Town Big Key, so we are going to be doing this the slow way. In Go mode, it actually is only about 15 seconds difference if you have to, if you can't do Icebreaker. But of course, where the big difference comes in is right here. We're full clearing this. Unless we find both Akana Samaria and Thieves Town Big Key relatively early. I do hope Gammachuu remembers he's got that one other exit out of Paradox Cave, because he needs to find that. There is one other connector up to that area, because I don't believe we've seen the connector that takes us to the floating island. Pretty certain the one from Paradox takes us to the other side of Hookshot Cave vanilla entrance. So if he finds that, he'd be fine. He does need to get up there to get to Eastern. It's entirely possible, though, that we'll never see boots on Gammachoo's side, because if he finds the Thieves Town Big, and if he finds the Akana Samaria, there's a good chance when he finds Misery Mire as a pendant, doesn't actually walk in. He'll walk in and walk right on out. And we have both our runners in Ice Palace at the same time. And Gammachuu gets the Swamp Big Key. That could be pretty big if there's something in the Swamp Big chest, because Daze will just get it when he goes into Swamp. Now, Daze still needs to get the flippers, whereas Gammachuu will have to make a decision to actually go back into Swamp and check the big chest. Swamp Big Key, one of those pure fetch quest big keys. And the big key to Tower of Hera, which is not a pure fetch quest big key, but is essentially a fetch quest big key. The difference being that Hera big key is logically required, Swamp big key is not. So he's got two nasty little fetch quests to think about. When is he gonna go do? When, if ever, does he go do those? Dazedcloud having a little bit of trouble with this bomb jump. I'll do my relatively standard PSA. If you're playing this game and you know how to do Icebreaker, you still need to know how to do Ice Palace bomb jump, because you have these kind of situations where you want to go in and do Ice Palace without the Cane of Samaria, and trust me, you do not want to do this the vanilla way. I think a lot of people don't even know how to do this vanilla. But it involves a lot of looping around and backtracking. You just don't want to do it. Adrossi, with this day is gonna finish in the next minute, right? Well, sadly, I don't think he's gonna beat that time. And Daze gets his Swamp Big Key, which is not nearly as bad for him because he hasn't been in Swamp Palace, so for him it's not really a fetch quest. The Hera Big Key will be just as much a fetch quest for him, though. Very nice Fire Rod Cold Stare from Gammachuu. Gets a Thieves Town small key, which, you know, if we find the Thieves big before we find the Cane of Samaria, means that we're not going to be orphaning the big chest, so that's good. So the Cane of Samaria is in the big chest. No one gets an advantage from that, because both runners will have the small key. Let's see where Gammachuu goes next. So again, the thing that Gammachuu needs to do is at some point he needs to get up to the top of Death Mountain in the Dark World. We know of one connector that gets him there, and that is the Paradox Cave. The bottom of Paradox Cave will connect him there. He's got two options of how to get into it. One really easy, the other one not very easy at all. One is the Smith House, the other is Brothers left. He's not going to go with the second one. Dazedcloud needs to get to Bombo's tablet. Find his flippers. And Gammachuu says, you know what, I'm just going to follow these fetch quest big keys. It does have me wondering if he remembers that he hasn't done all the Paradox exits. But, I mean, if Mitts show up, then you can just get to that part of the Dark World without, he's got access to Death Mountain, so he could get to the Dark World entrances without having to go through that connector. We get a small key. A small key to pod. Okay. Yeah, technically we need some more pod small keys. But really that's only relevant if there's items behind those small keys. They both have... Let's see, that's I take it back. He needed that small key. He's used one. And to finish the dungeon, you need at least one more. So that's a good small key. Let's see. We're gonna... Oh, Misery Mire area. We have not seen any of this yet. Ether Medallion for the actual Mire entrance. Our third pod small key. Yeah, we're probably going to start finding these pods. I'm actually a little surprised. We're pretty late in to have only seen now 3. And so, you know, that second one was just a little bit ago. So pretty late to be finding that in front of Old Man. Well, we've already rescued the old man, so we don't need to go back there. And we see Saha over on Day's side and see where this was. He already knows the green pendant, so no reason to talk to him. Ah, yes, it's a bonk spot, which of course Gammachuu can't do. If one of the bonk spots has the Cane of Samaria, that'll be really big for Dazed. Or, you know, Thieves Down Big Key, either one. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. The only pod big key that Dazedcloud has seen, and really until a few minutes ago, the only one the Gamma had seen, the only one any of us had seen, was that bow locked small key that was in pod. Like, I mean, it's a crystal. I mean, even if it's a pendant dungeon, I mean, those small keys have to be somewhere. And we find Aegina's cave, which had nothing. I didn't even see what was in the swamp big chest, but I don't think it was anything interesting. Not sure we've seen this connector yet. That Daze is in right now. Yeah, that's another one that would be really good for Gammachuu to get to Eastern Palace. Actually see where this was. And chess game with a mapped against tower, completely useless map. Oh, again behind the boots. So that connector's not gonna save Gammachuu. He needs to either follow this paradox connector, or he needs to find myths in order to get to Eastern Palace. Okay, looks like that's where he's headed right now. Okay, you've seen this one, Gamma. Okay, Daze, meanwhile, is going to get his flippers. Paradox Cave can do that to you. It's like, it's very easy to forget which part you did, which part you didn't do. Okay, Daze with his flippers. We'll see how long it takes him to get over to Swamp. There really wasn't... Just the TR Big Key was the one thing we got out of Swamp. And Gammachoo's going to find Eastern Palace really shortly. Ah, it was the... Okay, it was the... I see, okay. It was not the cave I thought it was, but either way. Gonna check out the floating island. Now Eastern is under the rock here, I believe. Daze is gonna go into front of desert. Yeah, Gammachuu is gonna be a little bit later to his boots. He's gonna full clear Eastern. We know there's nothing interesting here. Daze gets his pod big key. Which really doesn't do anything for him right now. He can't do anything new in pod until... Actually, he should have a second pod small, because he finished... Yeah, because Cold Stare didn't. Cold Stare have a pod... Oh, it was a Thieves Town small. Thank you, Relkin. Was the pod small in the swamp big chest? Thank you. Yes, it was. Okay. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna do some flippers checks from Daze. I don't think we've seen this entrance yet. And it's nothing. So even if we have seen it, it's nothing. I'm trying to remember if Gammachoo's done the Man Under the Bridge or not. It is just a shield. I see no shields on Gamma, so I'm going to say he has not done this check. Okay, Daze is going to head over here and check this last entrance that he was unable to check the first time he was over here. As he's doing it from the light world, he's not going to get the 3 dark world entrances, but I think the only thing in the dark world was the Skull Woods back. So it'd actually be good for him not to find that, because Skull Woods is a pendant. And we know there's nothing there. Yeah, I just realized, I don't think we haven't found GT yet. Oh, we're kind of running out of entrances. So it might be Glove Lock. Now, we don't need GT. Okay, yeah, this is a nice little bit of routing from Daze, remembering the Swamp Palace is right here. He's probably going to full clear Swamp Palace. He'll get his Thieves Town big key and not much else. For him, that Misery Mire big key is even less desirable than it is for Gammachuu. Because Gammachuu is about to find Misery Mire and probably will clear, almost full clear. Obviously can't finish it unless the Cane of Samaria is vanilla. But that would get him his boots, which would be really nice. And I don't think there was anything else relevant there. But we did not see the big chest. Yeah, Daze is going to get that other small because he's going to be able to full clear swamp in one go since he already has the big key. And he does need another pod small. Gammachoo's going to do this these west side checks, which is fine because he's done everything else on the mountain, so this isn't like he has to choose between stuff. He's gonna do this first before he drops down. Pretty certain Daze had done this already when he found this connector. Another Turlock small key. Okay, our lamp's in logic. Yay! I guess it was already in logic for Daze. He's got 4 Turtle Rock small keys marked. But for those of you that missed it, the lamp was sitting in the lava chest in Turtle Rock, which is of course logically locked by 4 small keys. So no one ever waits for all 4 small keys. Okay, to answer the question about ladder races being anonymous, normal ladder races, of course, are anonymous. But when we do the invitationals, we actually create groups and matchups from those groups. So this is a different type of thing. Essentially consider the ladder races of that particular season are essentially qualifiers. And this is the tournament. Nice shot with the silver arrow there on that Lionel from Gammachuu. Okay, now he's going to drop down. He's going to find Misery Mire. He's running out of things to do, so I fully expect him to go in and do this. But if I check this other entrance first, in case it's something more desirable to do. I think there's a small key up there, Gamma. You might want to go get. Okay. I'm not going to worry about that right now. He's going to go ahead and go into Misery Mire. Maybe he wants to follow the connector. And we've seen the connector many times, so. But you can grab the small key and then take the connector over, rather than saving and quitting. And he walks into Misery Mire with 2 small keys. So those boots still aren't in logic, because Technically, you need 3, but nobody, there's no world in which you don't do this check because you don't have the small keys for it. Oh, there was a Harris Small in left. Yeah, I missed that. Thanks, Will. I did not see that there was a Harris Small in Left Side Swamp either. Which, you know, that is a true fetch quest key. That Harris Small does exactly one thing. It opens that one location. Okay, Gamma's closing in on those boots. I'm beginning to think that somewhere we're gonna need to find the mitts, to find the GT entrance, to find our last 2 items, Samaria and the Thieves' Town Big Key. The runners are gonna hope that they find the Thieves' Big Key first. The Thieves' Big Key, of course, only locks the back of Thieves' Town, which is 4 checks, but Thieves' Town is so linear that if the Cane of Samaria happen to be there, then that's great. You know, we're doing most of that anyway. Only the big chest is even remotely out of the way. Whereas if we find the Cane first, that opens up 3 extra checks in Turtle Rock, that opens up Vitreous, that opens up, if we ever find Ganon's Tower, it opens up the right side of GT. None of which we really want to do if we can avoid it. Gammachuu gets his boots. Days into the Argus fight. Okay, now the interesting part of Gammachuu in Misery Mire. Is there anything in this big chest? Is it a cane? Is it a Thieves' Town Big Key? Is it a mitts? Those are the things we're looking for right now. It's a small key to Mire. Wow. Talk about anticlimactic. Oh gosh, okay. Okay, so Hera, anybody? Because we've got 2 items there. We're running out of things. Now Gamma's gonna have a bunch of bonk checks to do. Also, he hasn't done the back of Desert. He knows where that is. Could do that anytime. Daze is going to go over here to Dark Shopping Mall. He's going to find Skull Woods. He's going to find... Yeah, not going to do Hera right now. But he's got these 3 checks right here. Yeah, Gammachuu didn't really need that map at this point, but he picks it up. Like, yeah, he's got other things. Yeah, he hasn't done the big chest of Desert, so he can do that right now. Wouldn't surprise me if he goes and does the 2 Hera checks right after this. We know this is nothing because we saw this on Daze Colossi. We also know that the stuff that Daze is doing is nothing. We saw that on Gamma's side. At the moment, I don't know that anyone has an advantage at the moment. Right now, we're down to really awful checks. So yeah, Gammachuu has these 3 bonk checks he can do. Again, 3 light world checks we're all going to use the mirror for because... Well, I guess it's not 3. But the 3rd one is Hera. And we have 2 items in Hera that we can pick up. And I would expect at this point that's where Gammachuu going to end this route. Probably maybe do the 2 entrances first. And then head over to Hera. There's not a whole lot else to do. Chat, if you can think of anything else that the runners have skipped, please let me know, because it would not surprise me that at 11 o'clock at night, Central Time, After calling my second race and having watched the earlier race. TR checks. Right. Let's see, what have we not done in TR? We did Laser Bridge. We had the big key, so we got 2 items in TR we can get. So we can get Crystal Roller, we can get the big chest. Thank you, Rolkin. That's not a lot. We've got our 2 awful checks in Hera, we got the 2 checks in TR. The advantage of TR is if the cane's there, you can just finish the dungeon. Okay, so the big chest was nothing. Will we get something in the basement? Okay, let's see what's in Hera basement. Behind the tiles. And it is a small key to pod. Technically, we need that. It is not progression. And this could be, let's see. I think, yeah, Daze has done all the desert checks. Except he hasn't picked up the torch item. I don't even know what the torch item was, but neither runner went for it, so I'm going to guess it's just trash. Okay, he's just going for the connector, so let's see. I forget where this goes. Hammer pegs. Okay. Doesn't do us much good. That can be a relevant spot if you don't have a hammer and you do have the mirror, because you can do the drop down. Gamma going back into pod. This is another thing we have. There's nothing new in logic here, though, because it takes 4 small keys to actually do stuff in the back. But it is stuff we can do. Now, I mean, it could be that you go to Turtle Rock, get yourself a pod small key to put stuff in logic in the big chest or in Crystal Roller, and then you just have to come back to pod anyway. And since we can actually clear a lot of this, we'll see if he saves a key. He has 4. Okay, so he used 1, so this is 4 small. So, thank you, Lonavine. So yeah, so this is in logic. The one he just did was in logic. The question is, oh, there's a Cane of Samaria. Okay, that makes the Turtle Rock play a lot nicer. Like, I think at this point I would, you know, we'll do the hammer jump to do the big chest. And then go to Turtle Rock, go to the east entrance. Because the laser bridge is in a really shitty spot anyway. Because it's off of TR bridge, and it's off of... and to get there is a couple of nasty connectors to go to anyway. This way you can go ahead and check the big chest for the Thieves Town big key, and you can check Crystal Roller, and you can go to right next from there. And Gammachuu misses the hammer jump. That's okay, he's got 14 more bombs to try. Oh god, a mushroom. Now, expect it to get turned in. It doesn't really do a lot. Okay, so we got a Cane of Samaria out of pod. Daze is gonna go ahead and do the Hera stuff. And Gamma has the one small key left. Okay, so he left the big key chest. I feel like we saw the big key chest. I think that must have been on Dazedcloud side. But maybe I'm confusing it with one of the other races from today. I wouldn't put it past me. Either way, he's going to go ahead and finish this. Because you don't prioritize one check over finishing a dungeon in this case. Yeah, he had one, but he had the bow the first trip. But I think you're right. I think he left... No, wait, he didn't have the bow. It was Gammachuu that had the bow the first trip. So no, he would not have checked that. That was a different seed. Yeah, because he sequence broke. He was the one that mimicked look to the right side and got the small key and then opened the front door. So yeah, you're right, Relkin. He absolutely did not do it. And this is why I have chat, because my memory by myself doesn't do it. and shout outs to all you out there that are keeping me honest. Okay, very nice fight from Gammachuu. Taking down Helmasaur, getting a map for his trouble. Thanks, game. Okay, so I suspect we're going to see him go to Turtle Rock East and do those checks into the Trinex fight. And then what he can do, a bit of routing I really like, is he could then, once he beats Trinex, that'll put him at the front of Turtle Rock, and he can just do the other 3 checks that he can do with the Canis Samaria. We've got all 4 small keys, so we don't have to worry about that at all. I think this is Dazedcloud's first trip over to the Misery Mire area. So at this point, I mean, Thieves Town Big Key showing up for days somewhere before he gets back to Pod could put him back into this, but right now, definitely advantage Gammachuu. So yeah, we've seen all of these mire entrances on Gamma's side. And we've already done Laser Bridge, so we're just gonna go straight to Trinex. So Daze needs to get back over to Pod with his... He's got 4 small keys too. And we're going to use hammer strats rather than using that Master Sword. It's a little bit faster. And Gammachuu is just going to switch to using extra Fire Rod shots and combined with the Master Sword. The Fire Rod goes, you can do damage with either rod on its respective head, but the Fire Rod can potentially do more damage on the Ice Head because you can sometimes get splash damage as well. And combine that with, and it also tends to be easier to fire and easier to target, and because of that splash damage, and then combine that with the Master Sword. So it's just kind of nice to do. We get a cape. Cape doesn't get us anything because we've already gone through Bumper Cave, and Bumper Cave we had to go through with the hook shot. In fact, Dazedcloud just did it recently. That location that Days just found is, and we saw that on Gamma side, but just want to point out that is a really great spot early. Not what you want to find an hour 50 in. Because we get those nice 4 free bomb pots. And so far, front of Turtle Rock is as empty as everything else. We get bombs. Are we going to find the Turtle Rock Big Key? Are we going to find Mitts? If it's the Turtle Rock Big Key... sorry, not Turtle Rock. Thieves Town Big Key. Find Thieves Town Big Key. We're just in go mode. Or no mode. You know, for Gammachuu it would be go mode. Go Woods Big Key and the Mitts. That's the other possibility. Are we going to find the Mitts? The Mitts are going to open up a bunch of new entrances. One of those entrances is going to be Ganon's Tower. It's, suddenly, I mean, Dazedcloud's gonna go ahead and beat, Pod first. I do fully expect him to go back in. He'll get his cane to Samaria, which means he'll be able to do exactly what Gammachuu just did. And the Mitts, you know, again, depending on what order Daze does things in, compared to what order Gammachuu does things in, could get him right back in this. Still advantage Gammachuu, but there's a window for Dazed. He's got outs. And of course, that Cane of Samara also opens up Vitreous, which nobody wants to do. Might be slightly more tempting for Dazedcloud to do it just because he hasn't done the Misery Mire big chest. So he's got 2 items. Well, I guess technically it'd be 2 items for Gamma because it'd be the green pendant as well. 3 items for Dazed. But unless he decides to do all that before doing Turtle Rock, I mean, the Mitts is just going to open up so much. And GT's got to be somewhere. I say that, but GT can be. It's its vanilla location. It just almost never is. Although I did have a seed once that was vanilla GT into vanilla Ganon. That was fun. And by fun, I mean not. Yeah, I think I agree with you, Will. Saying that the best case... I mean, I don't think that's his only win condition, but that is definitely would be a really good situation for him. Would be Gamma finds GT, and Daze finds the Thieves Town Big Key elsewhere. And Daze is also going to have a choice as to where to use this extra small key. Gammachuu went ahead and used it on Harmless Hellway. Whereas Daze could choose to use it on the big big key entrance, or big key chest, I should say. Yeah, we don't have that many Mitts entrances because several of the Mitts locked entrances were found via connector. Ah, there's GT. Had to show up. And suddenly we have 27 items available to us. And we have three small keys, which is enough to do everything easily. See how Gammachuu chooses to route this. Let's see if he checks Tile Room here. Okay, he's gonna skip Tile Room for now. I kind of like this. I think if it were me, I would do essentially what Gamma's doing right now, which is do the right side, grab it, and then we'll see. I assume we'll grab the small key, and then mirror and do the left side. And then, if I still am looking for that Thieves Town Big Key, I probably do Tile Room before I climb. He's already got that mirror out. Oh, well, we get a temper sword out of it, at least. He's not even gonna get the small key. He's just gonna go ahead and mirror. With 3 keys, he shouldn't need it. You should only need that small. And a gold sword. Okay, we'll take it. With the... You know, the only way he'd need that small key is if he was opening that particular door, and he's not, so... Okay, and Day's gonna do the same play for Turtle Rock. Also available because of the mitts are, of course, Smith and Purple Chest. The Hammer Peg's location was a connector, so we don't need to worry about that one. I think the only other mitts check we actually have is Turtle Rock entrance itself. Yeah, kind of nice. So we finally get more than a Master Sword for the blind fight. Because, you know, having the gold sword for the blind fight makes all the difference. Of course, as most of you know, it doesn't matter what sword you have for the blind fight. It's all the same. I mean, you didn't necessarily have to finish all these dungeons before doing GT. It just seemed like the thing to do. So far, GT not giving us the one thing we need. You're gonna check the big chest before doing the Armos, the Ice Armos. I like this. Gets a small key to pod, of course. Hey, we can go back and get the pod big key chest, which of course we won't do. I would wait until. I mean, if I got a 6 small key, maybe. Probably wouldn't do that until I've actually full cleared this GT though. Yeah. Chat suggesting Thieves Town big key is just sitting there in the Skullwoods big chest. I could see the argument for checking that first, honestly. It's not that far out of the way from Kakariko, and we do have a starting location in Kakariko. Ice Palace Small, which is pretty meaningless. You only really need one for the dungeon. Oh, we're not going to do Tile Room before climbing. Okay, Gamma. So far, the basement gave us our 2 nice swords. And that's it. But yeah, this is interesting. What's our entrance behind GT? There is one extra item. It is, I believe, the Thieves' Hideout. By the way, shoutouts to Inverted Cross Keys letting us actually see the item. It's sitting on that ledge. There were a couple things playing in the Invitational, in the latter rounds that I really liked about Inverted Cross Keys. There are a lot of things I didn't like about it too, but the 2 things I liked most was in Inverted Cross Keys you had the ability to see the item behind GT. And the other thing I like that the entrances get all randomized. So Link's house is not at Link's house. It's not at Dark Link's house like in normal Inverted. And the Sanctuary is not at the Dark Sanctuary spot like in normal Inverted. Those are the 2 things I really liked. Chad's saying it's the only shout out to it. Okay, fair enough. I enjoyed it. I think it's a terrible race mode, but I actually enjoy the seeds myself. It's pretty darn, really, really swingy. So Dazedcloud's gonna do this in the opposite order, so he's gonna get his tempered sword on this torch. So, you know, Daze gets it out here if tile room is the answer. And that could be pretty big for Dazedcloud if it turns out to be tile room. That would actually potentially put him in the lead, depending on how quickly Gammachuu can get through this, and depending on how quickly Dazedcloud does the left side, and depending on does he do tile room before or after he does the compass room. We get a flute, which is useless at this point, and a big key too. Ace Palace, no. Essentially a fetch quest big key. So yeah, I think that's all the big keys. Is that all the big keys except... See, it is all the big keys except these down. I mean, logically, GT climb was required for that Ice Palace big key. Yes. And yeah, I guess Gamma already got that pod small. We've seen that. I mean, we have Ice Palace big chest, we have Skullwood's big chest. We have one more entrance up at Turtle Rock. I do not know what actual cave we're missing is. And just a piece of heart. So the climb not required. And we have Vitreous and Green Pendant turn in as well. Dazedcloud additionally has the Misery Mire big chest. And in fact, wouldn't surprise me if that's where Dazedcloud would go first, because that'll be 3 items for him. And I don't know if he's checked Ped, so that might actually be 4 items for him. Gamma hasn't done Back a Desert. So that's an item for him. That might be where he's headed. I'm trying to remember if this is where that was at. Okay, Daze did not do Tile Room yet. Will he do it before he climbs? Gammachuu heading towards Smith's. Daze with Gold Sword. Okay, Daze, we doing Tile Room? Ah! No one's doing Tile Room. Both skipping that Tile Room check. Let's see. Do the Smiths have our big key? No. Hey, but when we get to Thieves Town, we'll be able to count our items. Oh, mushroom turner. We haven't found the potion shop. That must be, I mean, actually it doesn't have to be at the Turtle Rock entrance. That could be at the GT entrance. Unless I missed them finding the potion shop in the first place. It's entirely possible. Gonna get a purple chest pickup. Oh, I guess Gammachuu didn't come through this exit. This is just a connector right here. Yeah, just another entrance to desert. Is it the purple chest? It is not the purple chest. Okay, so... Oh, there's the potion shop. We saw that ages ago. And it's nothing. It's not the mushroom. So we have Turtle Rock entrance, we have Tile Room, we have Skull Big, we have Ice Big, we have Vitreous / Green Pendant. Gammachuu is gonna head over to Skullwood's big chest. I know I saw some people say in chat they would have checked this first before even bothering going into GT. Is it the answer? It is not. Going to Ice Pal's big chest next. That's pretty good routing. You have the Skullwood's big chest. You can take that with Ice Palace being right here in the back. And this time we can Icebreaker. Remember how I said we weren't going to see Icebreaker? Well, we're going to see Icebreaker. Gammachuu almost there. Just gonna go ahead and bomb the floor. We don't see that every day. There it is. Big key to Thieves Town. Ice Palace big chest. So that Ice Palace big key was in GT. So that GT was a... yeah, so... Looks like Dazedcloud is headed that way. GT climb was required. Well, not the whole climb, but enough of it. Looks like Dazedcloud might be making the right decision faster. We'll see if he takes this all the way to Ice Palace. And here's where we learn that Go Mode Thieves Town, not that different from not Go Mode Thieves Town. One thing that the runners can do is because they have that small key and because they won't need to open up the big chest, They could choose to skip the pot key here. It's an easy thing not to think about, though. We'll see if Gammachuu thinks about it. Yeah, and Gammachuu does remember that, you know, don't actually need to grab the pot key. Yeah, remembers not to open the chest here. Like, even if you actually get a go mode fuse down, it's actually difficult to remember not to open the things. And it's not even like a luxury item we can get. We've already got half magic, we've got all 4 swords, we've got silver arrows. We've got cape, which is a pretty minor item anyway. For Ganon. We've got 3 bottles, which is more than enough. But we got a bottle of blue, which is all that really matters. Now, not that we should need it with as many hearts as we have, and as, you know, with the half magic. Phase gets his Thieves' Town big key. And he now has to go over to Thieves' Town. In the end, this ended up being pretty close. At this point, I'm pretty certain the only thing we didn't do or see was Vitreous and Green Pendant. I think everything else has been... Oh, and Tile Room. No one did Tile Room. And now we head to Ganon. Should be a very quick fight with Gold Sword and Silver Arrows. As I often like to say, the Gold Sword doesn't necessarily make the Ganon fight faster, but does sure make the 1-on-1 a lot more free. And Gammachuu executed it perfectly. No need for Torch Glitch when you have Silver Arrows. It's a nice double there. And that should finish him off. Gammachuu, just for good measure, fires the rest of his Silver Arrows. I'll get your GGs out there for Gammachuu, finishing in first place with the official race time of 2:14.25. And welcoming in Gammachuu. GG's.
Hey, thank you, GG's.
That was, and that seed wasn't that bad until it was.
Yeah, I was about to say, well, the beginning felt really nice. Just the ending, that really terrible big key location for
that
Decent.
chain. I mean, the you had to get the mitts out of the front of Turtle Rock to go to GT to get the Ice Palace big key, and of course you've already done Ice Palace, to go back to Ice Palace to open up the big chest. Like, that's all the mitts were even for, but they were required, as was the GT climb. Not the whole climb, but enough of it to get the Ice Palace big key.
Yeah, it's a really terrible sequence, and after I dove it a second time, the first time I only went for the first chest because I didn't have the hammer. Or the glove, I think.
Right.
Yeah, the glove.
I like that. You know, you just get a bow and you get a really good item in that first chest. I like leaving like that. I think that was smart.
Yeah, I consider going deep because that's such a bad spot to go to. But I'm like, I just barely touched the Dark World. Do I really want to do this? Just first chest and leave. Came back with a small key. I told myself I'm never coming back here unless I have both Skullwood's big key and Ice Palace big key, so I can combo them both together.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you did, and that's when you got it. That's pretty funny. So you both skipped Tile Room when you did GT.
Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to. I actually realized, what do I have left after I'm doing Purple Chest and Mushroom Turn-In? I'm looking at Desert, Mire, Boss. And I'm realizing, oh wait, there's a small key I left on Spec Rock, but I don't think it's relevant for me. But that Tile Room, I realized, oh my gosh, I left Tile Room in GT. I can't go back now. I can't. I already marked it off my tracker.
Yeah, we noticed that.
Yeah, I just realized right then and there. But luckily, it wasn't there.
Yeah, I think the only things we had left at that point, there was one more check in Pod big key chest, but there was Vitreous and Green Pendant. I can't even think of anything else. I guess no one ever checked the entrance to Turtle Rock, but I don't even know if there were any item caves left at that point.
Yeah, there was one actually. I don't think I found King's Tomb. I think that was the only one I didn't find.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna go all the way to Turtle Rock. That's not happening.
No, I mean, yeah, that's a last location for sure. That's a long ways away. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. So Dazedcloud got slowed up because he didn't get the Moon Pearl. Like, that Moon Pearl was Sphere 1. You could have just walked over and picked it up immediately. Not that it's really common to go straight to the Uncle drop down. But he didn't go there till a lot later. Did quite a bit of bunny walking before heading over there.
Okay.
So it was pretty late to that Moon Pearl. But he got the boots a lot earlier than you did. He found that connector that took him up to Dark Death Mountain. Did the 6 checks he could do in Mire. Didn't touch Eastern, which is fine because Eastern had nothing.
Oh, right. Eastern was sitting up there.
Yep. So,
yeah, that bunny walking, I knew, once I did almost all my drop downs, I knew that was either going to be the Lost Woods drop down or the well. So I'm like, I'm doing that right after I had the chance to save and quit.
But even if it's the Lost Wood drop, I mean, it's still an item.
Yeah, it's a guaranteed item.
Yeah. You're not getting Magic Bat, you're not getting the Useless Fairy or anything like that. But yeah, it took you a while to find that connector. Did you remember that you still had the extra Paradox entrance?
Oh, yeah, but I didn't have that on my mind, and right then and there. I try to get rid of connectors as soon as I can when it's most convenient, but at that point, it didn't really. I'm like, no, I could hold off on this. It's sitting in Kakariko. If I could, why not go there? I could just save and quit to the old man.
Yeah, you had some really nice save quit spots. The one in Kakariko is, it's always nice when you get a Kakariko save quit, and then you also had the back of the old man being Dark Link's house. I've had, I'm sure you've had the same thing where all your save quits, you get the Hyrule Castle is your sanctuary, and then you have 2 other spots are in adjacent screens, where it's okay, they all suck. But this one I think this one was really pretty nicely spread out as far as starting locations.
Yeah, I really enjoyed them. All of them were pretty good. Kakariko, and if you want to go Darkhold really quick, you go out of from the back of Old Man, so it's like super
Yep.
convenient.
Hmm.
Although I didn't notice that until I actually found that cave. I'm like, oh well, I could have just gone through here if I just seen that earlier.
Yeah, I think you both saw it from the back before you actually saved and quit to check it. So, I mean,
Uh,
there were some fun locations like the lamp being behind four Turtle Rock small keys was amusing.
oh gosh, I almost decided not to do Dark Cross when I went in there the first
Right.
time.
Yep.
Like, it's so out of logic. Who knows how
Hmm.
buried these keys are? But I have the mirror, so it's not too terrible.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm glad I did.
Yeah, I feel. I know there was something important there, but I, at this point, forget what.
It was
Was
a
it Swamp Small?
Yeah, it was that.
Swamp Small. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, definitely something important. Since we did have to do Swamp. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Days was late too. Was the flippers? Like you had read the tablet and you knew the flippers were there, and pretty much beelined it, and then beeline Swamp once you could,
Oh,
with the Master Sword. And he didn't get that till much later. That
oh
I think
wow.
that's a little more. Not that there was much of anything. I mean, there was the Turtle Rock Big Key was there, but that's about it.
Yeah. What a bad spot. My routing kind of worked out really well too, because I'm like, I have a sword. I don't want to also do the front of Hyrule Castle, the top of it,
Yeah.
until I have a cape or another sword. And
Right.
I
Right.
route from, what is it? Use a Whirlpool from the Dark Shopping Mall to go all the
Hmm.
way over to, what was it? The Dark Potion Shop, which was Sick Kid, which had my master. So I'm like, oh, perfect. Now
Yep.
I could
Yep.
go.
That worked out really well.
Yeah, which had the dam. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Now I could go get my flippers in case I find,
Mhm.
swamp somewhere.
Yeah, and
Uh,
and then, if you did the all the other swords were just not available. Like,
no, no,
because they were both in both two swords in mid locked GT. No.
that was lovely. Uh, the gold sword is sitting right there. The torch for me is like, I just might as well. It's right here.
I
I don't have
mean,
to work for my one and one was
yeah,
Ganon.
that's what I always say. I say, it's not necessarily faster, but it's freer for sure. So
Yeah. But yeah, really nasty sequence there at the end to get that big key for Thieves Town. It's gross. Kind of funny though. The big key to ice was Cold Stare dropped the Thieves Town small key,
yep,
and Big
which
Chest
was completely
having,
irrelevant.
yeah. So it's like, okay, thank you, game.
I mean, you want to get the Thieves Down small key before you get the Thieves Down big key. So at least it did that. But by the
Yeah.
time you got the big key, it was your go mode. So, and also shout outs to I didn't pay attention to what days did this, but it's always the one thing you can get out of a go mode Thieves Town is you get to skip the pot key. And shout outs
uh,
to you for remembering that. I'll assume Days, who's a veteran cross keys runners, remember to do that too. But it's
oh
like the
yeah.
one good thing, you get to do that because Thieves Town Go Boat is like, what's the
It's
point? It's,
it's yeah. That's the only difference really. If you have the small key, well, you get to skip the pot, and that's it really.
yep, yep. All right. Well,
uh,
congratulations. So you're going to move on to the next round. No idea who you're facing because I'm sure there's lots of things that need to happen in the other groups.
oh yeah.
But how you feeling moving on?
I'm really happy. I was actually kind of expecting to get a loss from him, Jace Claus. I know he's a really veteran runner and
Yep.
he's Mr. 121, so I was kind of expecting, is he gonna throw
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that at my way?
If you tune in, if you watch the VOD, there's a certain timestamp where people start thinking he should be done. So
Hmm.
right about that 121 mark. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm really happy though. I just making it this far already. Like, oh, I hope I could get a little further than this, but it's already I'm already way above where I was expecting to be. So I'll definitely
Yeah.
take it. Very
Yeah.
happy to be here.
And one other question. So okay, so I didn't get to see your first race, and I don't know that you'll even play the third one. But what modes have you had, and which modes do you prefer?
Cross keys. I want cross keys only. My first one was veterans. I'm
Huh?
okay with that, but I really prefer just sticking with cross keys.
Uh-huh.
Inverted is my least favorite mode. It's like
Hmm.
it's terrible, terrible, terrible in every way. Most of my inverted have just been long stretches of bunny walking, and it's like, please, don't give me that.
Fair enough. Yeah, inverted is a weird one. Like I enjoy playing the seeds a lot, but think they're terrible race modes.
Yeah, I no, and
They can be very swingy.
then I forget about little things like, like I'm looking for entrances. I'm like, oh wait, I can't mirror on top of Hyrule Castle. I need to find a connector.
Yep.
That's like, oh gosh, like no, get me out of there.
Yeah, I had a fun one where I had to do Aga Tower, not Aga, GT to get to those entrances, and one of them was whatever, I forget what dungeon, maybe in Thieves Town, I forget, but there was a dungeon I had to do, and I last locationed it because I was putting off doing um, Ganon's Tower for the drop down for Ganon. And I was just hoping at that
Oh,
point that Thieves Town or whatever the dungeon was there, and it was, thankfully. And it's like,
yeah.
and then when you fall down, it's like I don't know what happens where you respawn
You,
if you fall in
yeah, I
that
was actually about to
situation.
ask, like,
I
I don't
don't
think you
know.
go back up there.
I've never actually
Uh,
fallen
uh,
on those because I've been like, okay, I don't want to fall because I don't know
you,
what happens, and I do not want to climb
no.
GT again. To get here.
Yeah, I would assume you fall down. It's well, you screwed up, kind of deal.
Yep.
Yeah. Uh,
I don't want to test that theory. So,
yeah.
like
No.
in regular cross keys, I'm big. I actually like it when it's vanilla Ganon, just because that it takes away that decision. You just have to climb Ganon's tower. But in
Oh,
inverted, like no, anywhere else, please.
nope. Yep. But, gosh, thank you again for doing commentary. I thought it was just gonna be a no commentary kind of restream, but yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to watching this back and seeing how we did early on.
Yeah, you'll see a lot of chat correcting me because 2 streams at once, all by
Oh no.
yourself, without a real tracker. I mean, the Chicago Bears are great, but they can't tell me when I make a mistake. So,
Yeah. No,
um,
I appreciate you doing commentary, and yeah, thank you again. And I'm gonna go get ready for this 80 keys here soon because I'm looking forward to that.
oh, you're
After I
playing the
play
ladder
this,
race?
yes,
Okay, well,
yes.
good luck. I'm glad you finished quick enough that you can sign up and have fun with that.
Thank you. Have a good night. Have a good
Yeah,
night.
you too. All right, that's gonna do it. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Don't get to solo com very often, and actually, it turned out to be a good time. I'd like to thank all of you out there in Chatland. I really appreciate you uh, picking up for whatever mistakes I made. It made it more fun with the interaction as well. So definitely a huge thank you to that. Of course, thank you to Big Dunka for putting all this on, and of course Gammachuu and Dazedcloud. I don't know if there's chat commands for that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And hopefully I get to do some more of these. Hopefully I get a partner next time. But it was a lot of fun, and thank you all. And we'll see you at the next race.